Hello, hello, world. Welcome to another episode of I'ma Say It Again podcast. This is your girl, Mama.
And it's your boy, Baba. What's up, everybody? What's up, family?
Hey. Bringing you another fine episode this evening. What are we touching on today?
What we touching on today, the topic of the day is home ownership in America out of reach?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now, just briefly, I'm going to ask you. Matter of fact, before I ask you this, I'm going to tell you what's not out of reach. What's not out of reach is them fine people over there, R&D vending services. That's what's not out of reach. So if you have an office space, you have a big office, small office, a suite, or whatever, and you're looking for vending machines, and you got like a group of like maybe 10, 15 workers, and y'all need refreshments instead of going down there to like Royal Farms or to the convenience stores and let them tax the hell out your pockets, just go hit up the vending machine or the good people over there, R&D vending services, and they will bring you a vending machine. And you let them fill it up with snacks and stuff like that, and serve your people at your workspace so they can get a nice beverage or something, so they can keep their ass at the job, so they can keep working. Ain't none of that going down to the store. Oh no, I gotta get something to drink. I gotta get me a Sprite. I gotta get me a Pepsi. Nope. You got that right in the break room. Go ahead, get that snack, that honey bun, them chips, them Doritos, or whatever you eat. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if y'all want to get in contact with R&D vending services and, reach out to them wonderful people over there at 410-501-4437. Also, by the way, this episode is sponsored by them wonderful people over there at R&D vending services. Yeah. They are awesome. Yes, they are. They are awesome. They look out for us on a regular. So shout out to R&D vending services.
Yeah, shout out to R&D vending services.
So let's get back to the topic. So the topic is home ownership in America out of reach? Now I'm going to ask you, Mama, do you think home ownership in America is out of reach? Just briefly hit on that and we can move.
Knowing what I know right now, yes, I do believe that.
Why you say that?
But the state, the economy is in the market, the prices of houses, interest rates, the lack of income, and unaffordability.
The lack of income?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the lack of income. People don't make enough. People definitely don't make enough.
Do you think they make enough, but the house is just expensive? Houses went up.
I'm going to say they don't make enough because, right, the houses have went up. However, it's more than just that housing cost, meaning the mortgage, is everything else that comes with it. So I don't think people can afford it at all.
Yeah, so it's my opinion. I think people make money. People can make money to afford housing if the housing didn't go up. So I think people make good money. Some people make good money, but due to the fact that the house is damn near double interest, the mortgage rates are up. Like the mortgage rates are up. I would say the mortgage rates tripled, because I remember, like maybe before COVID, I think some people interest rates was 2%.
Remember 2019?
Yeah.
2018.
Before that though, 2018. Even before that, like it was before COVID, I think interest rate was below. Some people probably had 2% or lower, but now it's up like around between 6.3, 6.7, or it might be higher than that, depending on your credit.
Yeah.
It might go all the way up to 7.5.
That is true.
So, do you think that Donald Trump can do anything with the prices of homes?
I'm not certain. I'm not certain that he can, because who pretty much dictates the prices of these homes? It's mainly the banks, right? So I'm not really certain.
Yeah, so I think it's the banks. but also it got something to do with what the market dictates.
Yeah.
So if I feel like, I think it goes like, if it's a lot of homes, something about the buyer's market and the seller market.
Okay.
So I think it's more of a seller's market. So the homes, it's less inventory. So that's going to make the homes go up anyway.
Yes.
So that's just how everything goes anyway in this country. Like when it's less inventory, things are expensive. Just imagine if everybody had like everybody had like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Just say everybody had it. It would be mad. It would be cheap. See, so if there's a demand for something, things will be high. Less demand for it, things will be low. So just like I said, a Rolls Royce, they can run you 300, 400,000 or more. If everybody had it, I'm pretty sure over a period of time, it would be super cheap.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So you said Donald Trump can't?
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. I think it's out of his control. But I feel like some people gonna maybe try to put it on him, like Democrats or whoever. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to make it seem like he can control it.
But if that's the case, then every president that sits in office should be able to control it. As we see, like the president prior to, well, Biden, what did he do to fix it? Did he do anything to fix it? Could he fix it?
No, that's what I was saying. Is people going to say that Trump could fix it, but that's just people talking and don't know like actual facts.
Right, knowing damn well they can't do nothing about it.
It's like all this other stuff, but I don't want to really get off topic, whatever. But it's still on topic, but it's still like, like he can't fix it. But I think the housing market for like the average American and definitely young people is definitely out of reach. I really feel sorry. I really feel sorry for young people because I don't think they're gonna be able to afford a home at all.
Like, do you feel like? So give me like a time frame. I know you talk about this all the time, but I want you to speak to the audience in terms of like a time frame. Do you think it can never correct or be able to be affordable for these young adults?
I really don't think so. Not in the near future. I don't see it. I think things may get better. Yeah, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I was gonna put a number out there, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Because I think the greed is too high. I think everybody's out here unless the buyers are like, I don't know. I think once interest rates go down, the buyers get back out there.
Yeah.
And then it become a buyer's market. Maybe that'll go down. It will go down. I'm pretty sure it will go down. It has to.
Yeah.
Because people who selling their house won't have to. They're not going to sell it. If you got a house that's originally $200,000, I think some people right now are running their house up to $280,000, $285,000, right? Yeah. You have to bring it back down to $200,000, because nobody's buying it. So I think that once the buyers and the interest rates go back down to normal, I think that's going to correct everything out here in the housing market, and I think things will go back to being normal.
Okay. Yeah, because once buyers see, they selling houses, but the houses are sitting on the market 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta.
Yeah, people gonna have to
adjustments.
They're gonna have to make adjustments. Mm-hmm. They have to, unless they don't want to sell their house. So they have to make them type of adjustments. But I was reading some stuff. So it say, according to recent data and surveys for many Americans, especially younger generation, homeownership is increasingly considered out of reach due to rising home prices, high mortgage rates, and limited affordability, making it a challenging goal for a significant portion of the population essentially the American dream of home ownership is becoming less attainable for many people. High prices to income ratio. The median home price compared to median income has significantly increased, making it harder to afford a home even for moderate earners. So that's what's going to put people in the box right there. It has to well, like you said earlier, your income has to be a certain amount.
Yes.
But it seemed like if you like, cause some people say, "Hey, just earn more." Like I didn't see people, you know what I mean, on the internet, you know, people crazy. They always say, "Hey, you got to earn more." I agree, but to what extent? You got to earn more, but this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to overpay for the house.
You don't. Just so you can have a house.
Yeah.
Just to say I have a house and overpay.
Right.
For it.
It's like overpaying for a car, and then next thing you know, in a couple of years, you making payments for 2-3 years, and you found yourself upside down in the car, meaning the car you owe more on the car than what it's worth. And I see people doing that in their houses. I see that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like if people out there buying homes right now in February 2025, people out there trying to buy a home, I think you will eventually buy a house that it's not worth what you're paying on it.
So what advice would you give anybody right now who is, wanting to buy a home? Like, all right, well, I know interest rates are up. I know the prices of these houses are high. Like, what advice would you give them?
Only way I could see buying a house makes any sense for anybody right now if you get an awesome deal. Meaning you got to get awesome deal, an awesome discount on that price of that home.
Yeah.
That's the only way I see it. I can't see it no other way. Like unless you just got money to burn. Unless you really love that house and you say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna get it anyway." But like, it don't make no sense if you're not getting a discount on it. You're not getting a deal on that house. If you ain't getting a deal on that house, I don't really see it.
No, that's understandable. Could you touch on how important it is though for multiple incomes in a house? I know, like in the articles, they're talking about affordability and making more and things like that. And that's not just one income. Like, so can you touch on how important it is to have?
It's super important because you're going to have, if one person go out there and try to live above their means, they do anything crazy, they got high credit card debt, they're going to get slammed. Like they're going to be so overwhelmed by debt and paying that high mortgage. So they got the mortgage, they got their monthly mortgage, they got credit card debt, they got all this type of stuff. So yeah, that is hard. They got car notes, they got a lifestyle. They trying to take 2 vacations every year. That is super like, if you got it, you got it. If you don't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the people who don't have it, that's super irresponsible. So you need, if you got a husband, you got a wife, yeah, you doing good. So two incomes is better than one. So even if you don't have a husband or a wife, you better have a side job. You better be Uber Eats, Lyft, Door Dashing. You better be doing something.
Because that's one thing they want to see, that you have the ability to afford. That's what these, the lenders want to see. Mm-hmm. They want to see, well, you have this amount of money in the bank. Well, you make this amount of money every month, and so on and so forth. So they want to see that you can afford the home. So you have the credit. And like I said, even with credit, what's the minimums? Like 640, right? But with that 640 credit score, you may have the highest interest rate, versus you having a 740 credit score. You come down, a little, you got some wiggle room, which will help you as well.
If I was to give advice to somebody, don't trust the banks either. I would say you have to trust yourself. You got to have a budget. You got to know exactly everything that comes in and leaves out your house, out your bank account, and trust yourself. You know what you make. The bank might even give you a home that you really can't afford. So just remember what I just said just now. So I'm going to segue into a question for you, and then you can throw it back to me, whatever, if you want to do that. You ever heard of the saying house poor?
Yes, I have. We actually just touched on this in a previous episode, being house poor. So that's pretty much when you buy the house, right? And all you can afford is the cost of the house and nothing else.
Right. So that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be house poor, because houses have hidden costs. So if you house poor, how are you going to take care of the hidden costs? If the interest rates go up, if your property taxes go up, if your homeowner's insurance, that's what it's called, homeowner's insurance go up, like that puts you in a bind, and it's hard to get out that bind. So I'm gonna read something else, right? It also talk about mortgage rate impact. Recent increases in mortgage rates further strain affordability for potential buyers. Younger generations struggle. Millennials and Gen Zs are particularly impacted by the current housing market, with many believing home ownership is unrealistic. Rightfully so. Like I said, that's the class. I feel sorry for them, because I remember, like I said, like we talked about before, getting a studio apartment. And one time I got a studio apartment that was like $550, and it was everything in the studio was new. It wasn't old, ran down, beat up. Just updated. But now, I guarantee you ain't getting nothing close to no $550. You can't even for no studio. You can't rent a room. Yeah, that's crazy. You can't rent a room nowadays. What, a one bedroom apartment? It's probably running you $1,000. Yeah. And speaking of renting, renters it's a large portion of renters worry that they may never be able to buy a home due to the current market condition. And I agree. And who really want to rent their whole life? Like, well, some people do. Some people are fine with that. Yeah, some people. But some people do want that ownership, is mine. Yeah. I take care of it and whatnot. And then imagine you renting and you want to grow your family. So you got a wife, you want to get a child, and y'all still in a studio apartment or a one bedroom. See that? When you're trying to grow your family, which America needs, by the way, America needs to do something with these family court laws, so people can start growing their family, right? And then don't incentivize people in divorce, incentivize people to stay together. Yeah, that's great. Because that's how the nation gonna grow. This country ain't gonna grow with a whole bunch of baby mamas and renters and women who want a bunch of cats, men who got a bunch of dogs. I don't know. That might work. I apologize. A man with a dog and women with cats is not the same. I think the woman with cats is utterly disgusting. Ain't nothing going to benefit out of that. But a man with a dog at least can protect the neighborhood. He at least can do like training and all that, because women who got cats don't care nothing about no neighborhood or communities, ain't training and teaching nobody. You got a point there. So, yeah. So to the listeners, I apologize. A man with a dog is nothing like a woman with cats. One is going to be productive. The other one is not. And we already know who's not going to be productive, and that's the women with cats. Yeah. So once America actually get together, like fix this whole family court system, and incentivize people to be married, incentivize people to stay together, that's going to help everything else with this country, because this country needs family. This country don't need a whole bunch of individuals. That's why everything's made in China. Y'all get it? Like, listeners, like, that's why I look at everything made in China. That got something to do with our politicians. They got something to do with single mother homes. They got something to do with lazy children. So the more we get our act together as a family, the more we able to buy homes, to be able to spread out, buy land, live in rural areas, and not all bunched into cities and being renters. Because, everybody it seems like everything is being built as apartments, yes. And they all cramming each other into apartments like projects.
Yes.
Like a roach motel. Everybody getting crammed in these urban, so-called urban cities into apartments. I hate it. I do not like it.
Now, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that they're choosing to build more apartments?
Because they don't, because they know that they have the banks which run America. The banks run America. The people who going to own all the houses, going to turn houses into rental properties, are the banks, J.P. Morgan and others, right?
Yeah.
They got the pulse of the people. They know the people. They've been studying us since you've been born. So they know that everybody want to so-called be in the mix. And that being in the mix is being in the city. So if everybody want to be close to downtown, and downtown got limited space, they build all these apartments and cram them all in close to each other.
And slap luxury on it.
Yeah.
And you got them sold.
They're going to force you to be a renter. They're going to force you. The lucky people who live in the counties and rural areas, they lucky, stay out there. The unlucky people is the people like the young people that's born into this world now, and they see how everything is changing. Like the young adults, the teenagers, the one that's in high school, middle school. When they get out of high school and middle school and they're going to college, they're going to or if some going to college, but the other ones who don't even want to go to college, whether you go to college or you don't, they're going to force them into being renters.
Now, what's one of the main things you talk about when it comes to these young adults? What you advise them to do so that they won't have to worry about going out here trying to like rent apartments and find a place to live in terms of like staying at home?
Yeah. My advice is definitely to stay at home as long as you can and save your money. Stack your money up and put your money in high yield savings and invest your money. And I ain't talking about in meme coins. I'm talking about S&P 500 and blue chip companies like your Microsofts, like your Nvidias, like your Googles, your Teslas, stuff like that. And stay home as long as you possibly can. Save your money. Don't run the streets. Don't go to parties and clubs all the time and all. Go out to eat and Uber Eats and all that, DoorDash. And stay home as long as you possibly can. And then when you save your money up, and even when you move out, get roommates.
I think that's...
Y'all split the cost.
That's big.
Don't ever try to go out there and do it on your own, because the way this society's going, man, you're going to destroy yourself financially.
And hopefully you come across like some good people that can be, good roommates, of course. Yep. So that's great information. Now, let me ask you this. So I seen a recent post about some builders down in Georgia, the new constructions, but they're building them all to be rental properties instead of buying them for people to, building for people to buy. They're building for people to rent. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we discussed about, some rental opportunities, right? When
yes.
we move in to a different state, we might think about renting. I don't have no problem with renting if you already got things in order. Now, what are those things that you need to have in order? You need to have credit for one. You need to have like rainy day fund and your saved in your high yield. You need to have investment portfolio. You need to have a 401k. You need to start a business and make your business profitable. Hear that? You got to be profitable too. And I think you cool to rent. If you got multiple streams of income and the rent is not 60, 70, 80% of your take home pay, I think you can handle that. Like, you can rent. But most of us, a lot of us, our mortgage or rent is like, it's high. It's like I said, it's 50 and 40 and 60, 70, 80% of our take home pay. So yeah, I don't mind if somebody renting if you got things in order.
Yeah.
You got multiple streams of income, you cash flowing, you may have a rental property or two. Yeah, you'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, if you just trying to do it on your own and you think you could just run out there to New York, I'm gonna go live in New York somewhere and get me a house, or I'm gonna go to California or Arizona and wherever else is expensive in America, you gonna get it. Like it's not. It's not
Like,
even.
what's that all about? Like, people move to the most expensive places knowing that they can't afford them. Like, what recently, maybe last month, I was in the hair salon and I asked one of the stylists in there, she just came back from Texas. And I asked her, I said, was it affordable, living in Texas? She was like, you know what? That's one of the main reasons why I came back, because it wasn't affordable and the pay isn't so great in Texas. So I had no choice but to move back to Maryland because it just didn't add up. It didn't make any sense. So, and that's one place you hear a lot of people move to. Like, if it's Texas, it's California, or it's New York. But I think they go over there not necessarily having a plan.
Yeah, yeah, and that's gonna make them move back, like you said she did. Like you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan. You gotta read and you gotta see what's going on in this economy in different states. You can't just listen to a friend and say, "Well, my friend did it," but your friend might not be telling you the whole story. They might be struggling like crazy.
Yeah.
And you just run right behind them, and then you really see like it ain't what it is. It ain't what they saying it is. They ain't tell you the whole story. And then you have to go back. But not that's proper. I call that's improper preparation. She did not do her research.
Yeah.
Like if you do your research and you see like how much apartments going to be, how much written or buying a home going to be over there, what I'm going to get paid. That's the thing you got to do. You can't be emotional and say, "Oh, I'm going over there because I think it's lit over there." You know what I mean? Yeah. Or I saw this on Instagram. Or my friend told me. No, I don't care if your friend told you not. You still got to do your homework.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's your life, and you do not want to get financially destroyed out here. Because I don't want to say too much personal stuff. Like sometimes, like we get caught up in like TV, rap music. You're not wrong with rap. You're not wrong with watching TV sometimes. But we get caught up in certain things we watch and thinking that that's the life to live. But the people who you watching, they're not even living that life. That life is fake.
It's fake.
And then you get caught up trying to live that life. And then you say, "Oh man, that's impossible for these people to be." And then you get all caught up. So yeah, so people just do your homework, family. Just make sure you do your due diligence on, like, even when you go to school, getting a degree. Is that degree going to be relevant 10, 20, 30 years from now?
Right.
What is the actual pay?
That's important.
Because I was looking at some stuff earlier, like people be just getting degrees and then like not even getting jobs in that degree. That has to stop.
And that happens so much. And then people find themselves going back to school. Why? Because they're not making no money. Mm-hmm. The degree that they got, they're not in that field. So I got to go back to school, do something else to get another job, make more money, so forth.
And look how the system got you. It got you like, I get a degree, it's no longer relevant, but I still got to pay on it. Like, think about it. Like, you get a degree, it's not even relevant anymore. Or you got a degree, I make fun of about the underwater basket weaving degree, right? Oh, that's funny. And then you can't use it or don't pay no money. And then, like you said, you got to go get another degree.
Yeah.
Or you got to get a job in something else.
Right. It's always going to be a struggle. That's why I feel like patience, like you said, doing your research. Don't just go jump out into the water not knowing anything because you so in a rush to, oh, I want my own. I got to have my own. Because I think a lot of young adults feel that way too. They so in a rush to leave home when some of them don't have to, but they're so in a rush to leave home. Why? I don't know who they're trying to prove a point to. I don't know. But they find themselves in a world of trouble, and then they find themselves back at home. Because guess what? Because once you get out there, you can't afford it.
Nope.
Then you back knocking on mama and daddy door. I can't afford it. I got to break my lease. Like, don't put yourself through that. Be patient. Learn how to, make your money, get your income, do your research. And just like I said, be patient.
Yeah. And that's good advice, though. You definitely got to be patient. Because you do not want to break lease. Doesn't that go on your credit? If you break the lease, or
you know what?
What they do to you?
I don't know if they do put that on your credit anymore, like evictions and things. I'm not sure if they still do that. I know it was a thing in the past.
Now you're right, though. I think that's illegal to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they do. But it might be some type of court. Is it court repercussions to it, or if you can just break the lease, and what's the whole point of having a contract?
But see, if you break your lease, you're still responsible for the remaining amount on the contract, on the lease.
So if you got a 2-year lease and you break it in that first year, you're still
responsible for the terms of that lease until they get a tenant in there. That's one of the rules I read when it came to like leasing properties, like, and with the lease itself, like with these apartment complexes. So if you sign it, like you say, you sign that lease, like you say, if it's a 2-year lease, and you break it, and you still have 8 months left on there, you're still responsible for the remainder of those 8 months until they get a tenant in that property. And I don't know how it is, everywhere else, but right now, but they do operate like that. And like I said, and that's bad habits. You don't want to start, well, I'm at this place, damn, I gotta move because I couldn't afford it, and you try to get another place. Like, don't even put yourself through that. Like, hopefully your space at home is comfortable. You have parents who understand, like, hey, I'm not trying to push you out there. Hey, you 18, because that's the first thing we know. Is some parents out there. You 18, oh, you gotta go. Oh, you 18, you gotta pay bills. Oh, hell, you 16, you got a job, you gotta pay a bill. No. As parents, they have to do better. You have to stop pushing your children out there to live this so-called independent life when it's nothing but a struggle for them.
Yeah.
So parents, be responsible. These mamas, be responsible. Stop trying to put your bills on your children, on your teenage children. It's not their responsibility to pay your bills.
I agree. You pay your own bills.
I cannot, that is something that burns me up. The minute that a child gets a job, a teenager gets a job, and the first thing that mother wants to do is, oh, well, you got to pay this. You got to pay me rent. Well, excuse me?
It's hard times out here.
It's crazy. Let me tell you something. I seen a mother write up a contract. All 3 of her children had to pay. It was even between $50 or $200 a month. Like, damn, can they get their first paycheck?
Remember, you said earlier, you were saying the importance of having a 2-income house.
That is true.
You're talking about 2-income houses when it comes to a man, a husband and a wife.
Yeah, husband and a wife.
Not a woman and child.
Absolutely not.
Gotcha.
That's not them children's responsibility to pay your bills.
Gotcha. I agree. I was just trying to, make it clear to the audience. Yeah, absolutely. We're not trying to be hypocritical.
Absolutely. That's that husband that
and wife. We're not talking about the mother
and the children.
No.
Absolutely not, ma'am. Those are your bills. Those are your bills.
But what if a woman say, here, now I'm just trying to go, because, if somehow, hopefully, like I said, we got the most intelligent listeners on the internet, but maybe some stragglers may come along and say, I don't agree with that. My child should be able to help me to eat the food. They run the water. You know, they should be able to help me with something. Now, how you feel about that?
I still feel like you're wrong for thinking that way. Why? You had that child, right? Mm-hmm. You knew the responsibilities of being a parent. So as a parent, until that child is able to go out here in the world and do for themselves, I believe it is still your responsibility. It's your responsibility. Yeah. Let that child, like, you're not even teaching them at all. What you're telling that child is, even if they get to that point, right? I can't do for myself. I've been waiting on you to turn 18 so you can get a job so you can help me pay these bills because I've been struggling all this time. It's unfair. It's unfair for any parent to think that, oh, well, they eat my food. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I do believe it's unfair. And then at the same time, I would want the child that's at the home to be doing what they're supposed to do. That means if you're working, you're saving your money. You're not running the streets. You're not in and out the house. You're not getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, still be learning.
Right.
Because I feel like all children, I feel like everybody should always be going on a journey of enlightenment. So everybody should always go on a journey of enlightenment and learning. So we probably doing that, not just children, but everybody. You know, and I think that long as a child is being a good child, being a good, young, responsible adult.
I agree.
You know, they shouldn't be, you know, paying no bills. You know, children, we have to have them have help. We have to help them, you know what I mean, as parents or so-called, like people who got so-called family members, because it is a struggle to go out there and try to do it on your own.
It is.
With the little bit of money that they get paid from that little job they get with a high school diploma, they're not getting no money. And then they want to go out there and get $1,200, $1,300 rent. That is crazy. I can't even imagine at 20 years old, 21 years old, 22, 23, paying $1,200 of rent.
Crazy.
I couldn't imagine that. Like first of all, we was in a different era with this housing and renting. This housing and renting is crazy right now. So people better, you know, get their finances in order, stop worrying about leisure time and playing and entertainment, worry about your finances and getting multiple streams of income and invest your money, and do not invest your money in no meme coin.
And get back to traditional ways of lives, of life. Women seek husbands, men seek wives, do things together. This is how home ownership can become within reach.
Just real quick, did you say husbands or men seek wives? And you said a wife.
Say wives.
You said wives. Oh, okay.
I said wives, which is nothing wrong with that. You do it the right way. Okay. Shout out to our polygynous couples out here.
Shout out to the polygynous couples.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
And we got a shout out to maybe we get a listener one day, a woman that she might want to, you know, join us one day. But that's a whole nother.
We taking applications.
Definitely taking applications. Gotta have your mind right. But yeah, that's good information.
Yeah.
This was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great topic. And I feel like it's topics we can touch on and always revisit again, because it's always something.
Yeah, it's always something.
Always something.
Housing. Things is changing. And we just gotta inform our people, inform our listeners on what's going on.
Yeah. Because that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're here to do. And we hope you all are out there tuning in, listening to this great information. Like I said, we're just like everybody else.
Yes.
Just like everybody else. We're still learning as well. So.
And we're going to have conversations and episodes about our journey. Because we've been on a hell of a journey. We're still on a journey.
Yeah.
We've been on a hell of a journey of ups and downs, a lot of wins, but we took losses as well. So we're gonna bring those losses and wins to you guys. You know, so stay tuned in with us on this journey of this podcast, on our podcast journey, on our financial journey, on our polygynous journey, on our marriage journey, like just on a journey in general. Like we got a lot of content to bring to you guys, and hopefully you guys stay tuned and stay locked in with us.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you have enjoyed. This is your girl Mama.
And your boy Baba.
Thanks for tuning in to I'ma Say It Again podcast. Peace.
Peace.